So the next video we're going to be watching is something called Why Hollywood Loves This Creepy Bird Call.
That's a loon. And right now, he's doing something called wailing. But this is probably not...
Hold on, I got a little bit of chills there. Dude, it is literally, like, I'm imagining every time I hear that, like, walking through a swamp late at night and you hear it off in the distance, or, like, you're playing Red Dead 2, and you're in, like, Des Moines, or is it Saint Denis? That was it, Saint Denis.
Not the first time you've heard that noise. Here it is in the movie 1917, as they enter the enemy trench. In the third...
Just like the sound of isolation. Like, off in the distance, you hear it, and it comes in. Ooh.
Harry Potter movie, as they climb out of the Whomping Willow. In Rick and Morty, when Rick uses his intergalactic toilet. You'll find it whenever a scene needs to feel a little moody.
They feared it.
Or eerie. Or just remind us that we're in the great outdoors. This specific bird call is...
It reminds me of how the red-tailed falcon is actually the sound of bald eagles, like the squawk. That's the sound, and the like actual bald eagles don't. They do not have that much aura. Like, they sound like fucking bitches.
all over movies and TV shows.
Oh, hey, Walking Dead. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing that's like Animal Planet, and that's Kubo and the Two Strings.
But it really should...
Name more. 1917, Infinity War, Rick and Morty, fuck, I guess that's Harry Potter, probably.
Movie.
It's just like the Morning Dove.
If you ever find yourself on birder Twitter, you'll find a lot of angry tweets like these.
Can someone please tell movie makers that loons are not, in fact, the only bird out there?
Hello, I'm a nature scene in a movie. Doesn't matter whether it's habitat appropriate or not, I'm a common loon call.
Have you ever noticed loon calls in impossible locations in movies and TV? In a jungle?
Watching the movie Harriet, only 20 minutes in, but I'm giving them kudos. They were not lazy. No loon calls yet.
Can you read the first reply on that one?
Oh, myself? No, why, Harriet? At about the hour 20-minute mark, they throw in a calling loon.
Oh my god. It's fine. I love whenever there's like these super niche communities out there of people who like they'll see something be portrayed wrong in their thing, and like people are like, no, why'd you do it? And it's just like there's like some like really, really minor thing, like a loon call or something like that.
That's Terry. He's a research geographer. But more importantly, he moonlights on Twitter and his blog as Dakota Birder. He mostly posts beautiful pictures of birds and points out when Hollywood uses their calls incorrectly.
As a birder, you just can't help but notice.
Birder? As a birder? A birder? Meaning you just sit and watch movies and you try and like dissect what birds are wrong in that scene. Like you're like, that's a southwestern seagull, not a proper blue-tailed gull for this area of the Mediterranean.
Because the loon is a very particular bird. They're also called divers because they're really good at diving, thanks to their dense bones and enormous feet. They're also good at something called penguin dancing, and scooting across lakes at astonishing speeds. This is a map of the common loon's range. They mostly stick to Canada and the northern US, where there are plenty of lakes for them to hang out in. But they do migrate, passing through other US states on their way to winter along the coasts, as far down as Mexico. And here's a very unscientific map of all the places I found a common loon call in movies and TV.
Which is interesting, and if we want to look at this from like a political standpoint, it makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, Hollywood, one of the hearts of current Western media, is within North America. And a bird that sounds creepy that it can reach as far down as California and Mexico, or, you know, in a place that is oftentimes seen from a Western perspective as being filled with nature, beauty, and other things like that, which is the upper regions of North America, up near like taiga forests, large mountainous areas, the Rockies. I get you could also say someplace also a little bit down lower near Blue Ridge, in the Smokies, but up around Canada where there's those very enormous and beautiful temperate forests. Those filmmakers, obviously looking from it from a Western point of view and a lens to view all this stuff from, would take inspiration and would start applying that everywhere because that's all that they know. Or they think that that's the only thing that could really, you know, lay home the feeling and vibe is a call that some people would inherently know from being in American audiences while depicting something that is foreign.
Certainly wouldn't expect a common loon in Hawaii or in Bolivia or in South Africa.
And geographic location isn't the only thing Hollywood gets wrong. A loon might be found in California, but not during the summer, like Becky in Finding Dory.
Lads, meet Becky.
And unlike what this clip from the TV show Rome implies, you'd never find a loon in a desert.
No.
because when you think about it, really, what the fuck, bird is out there just making a call like that in the middle of the night, in the middle of a desert? Why would a loon be out there in the middle of a desert? That is a diving bird whose niche in biology is diving, lake sitting, and other things like that. Why the fuck are they in the middle of an arid desert at night?
They need water.
And quite a lot of it.
If you've ever seen a loon try to fly, it takes them a little while to get going.
They're actually really clumsy on land. So you also wouldn't find them in the Vietnamese jungle, like in the movie Platoon. And then there's this clip from Kubo and the Two Strings.
Golden heron.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It's one thing to...
Which, I mean, it makes sense, like, if you're trying to depict a heron, but not all herons sound the same. From what I'm gathering from this, a loon sounds very, very specific compared to other herons.
You know, use the wrong bird call as a background noise. It's another to actually show a picture of the bird and use a wrong call.
And even if those were...
It's like those fucking those dinosaur videos where they'll be like, this is what dinosaurs sounded like. And they just like play a shoehorn bill over it. Or shoe build, the chattering really big ones, or like putting the sound of a cassowary over like a raptor.
or loons, that movie takes place in Japan, which is at least on planet Earth, unlike Avengers Infinity War.
The big baddie, Thanos, he returns to his home planet, and so they pan to an overview of the planet, and the first noise you hear is a common loon. It just ruined...
I don't think that is actually his home planet of Titan, though. I'm pretty sure it's... Because remember, I'm pretty sure it was mentioned that it got destroyed in some way, shape, or form and became unsustainable. But that planet is actually called the Garden, right? He returns to the Garden and so on, because it's a planet to be isolated on. And then we find out later, whenever in Endgame, whenever Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel like shoots around the planet and looks around it really quickly, she says that there is no civilization on there or living beings except for Thanos.
And the moment.
Some credit this 1981 movie, On Golden Pond, as the first to use loon calls.
The loons.
The loons.
Oh, look, I've spotted the loons.
It did feature a lot of loons, but they used them correctly. It's set up north on a lake during the summer. Really, it's hard to tell which film kicked off Hollywood's loon obsession, or when, but it's pretty easy to figure out why.
I mean, it is a scary sound. I mean, it's just weird. It's unusual.
In some Algonquin lore, loons are messengers and supernatural companions to legendary hero Glooskap. In 1864, naturalist/philosopher Henry David Thoreau said the loon's call was singularly human. And in 1913,
That makes sense. I mean, it does sound particularly high-pitched to where it sounds like almost as if someone would cover up their mouth and like make a call. That it sounds very human. But again, that the movie On a Golden Lake makes sense for the theory that I posited earlier of, well, it's because of, American influence and North American influences on movies of why it happened.
John Muir, another elaborately bearded naturalist/philosopher, called it strange, sad, mournful, and unearthly. But the loons aren't sad when they're wailing. They actually have 4 calls. There's the hoot, the yodel, the tremolo, and the wail.
I've heard the tremolo before. I think I've heard that call specifically when I was out on the lake once.
2 are both used during stressful situations, when another bird is overstepping his bounds, or when some other threat is looming. If a loon ever looks at you like this, you should probably back away.
Their eyes are so pretty. Those eyes are so pretty, like a beautiful scarlet.
Is mostly for chatting to fellow loons up close. And the famous wail, it's basically just the loon equivalent of a game of Marco Polo, a way of saying, hey, where is everybody? But to human ears, even the calmest wail...
I guess I could be sad in that way. Well, unless it's meant to be used like if anyone is nearby or anything like that, whether they are alone or not, that it can be seen as a sort of call of isolation.
Wail sounds remarkably melancholy. I'm no musician, so I enlisted a few of my coworkers to help explain why. Like Dave, who's editing this video, and Charlie, who hosts the podcast Switched on Pop, as well as Vox's creative director, Joe, who sent me this video of his interpretation.
Now let me show you what it looks like in Melodyne.
They helped me turn the loon wail into one of these, a chart showing pitch over time. In this section, you can see that the loon makes a jump between 2 notes. In complicated musical terms, this interval is close to a major third, but it also bends into a minor third right at the end.
I know fucking nothing about music. I got no idea what they're talking about. They might as well be talking about quantum physics, but at least I can understand that.
It starts in a major and ends in a minor, which is extremely funky.
And the loon doesn't just jump from note to note, like a lot of chirpy birds. Instead, the notes sort of slide into each other. A feature that Charlie pointed out you'll also hear in blues and soul music. Singers like B.B. King and Muddy Waters, and songs like Feeling Good by Nina Simone.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel.
So it's no wonder the loon wail is Hollywood's favorite bird call. It's a shortcut to a feeling, enhancing a moment's melancholy, or tension, or sheer remoteness.
On the few occasions that I have heard it in real life.
Which, I mean, again, makes sense if the whole idea behind the call is that it's used whenever a bird is alone, not when they're sad, but when they're alone trying to see other things, that if a character is alone, you have a bird who's alone making a call saying that they are alone.
Life, it really is unforgettable. It's just so unlike any other bird call. It's hard that first time you hear it not to have, goosebumps. It just is such a haunting, unusual sound.
There is a lot more to learn about loons. They return to the same lake year after year. They do this weird foot waggle, and nobody knows why. And they carry their cute, fluffy babies on their backs. And their populations are dwindling due to pollution, human disturbance, and climate change. According to one model, the loon is on track to lose about half of its range by 2080. If you want to learn more about loons,
That's
or
some
what you
fucking
can do
age.
to
At
help
the end of the
protect
day,
them-
it's still all it's still the fucking problem of capitalism. God fucking damn it. All right, next video. God fuck. Thank you to the members and patrons, aka the members of the Ultimate Fleet. Saline, Peachy Bun, Sleepy Sheepy, Lola Partizal, Finch R, Eminelli, Bell, Lily McMillan, Henri, Shira, Angel313, Andrew Ortega, Ariana Henry, Yoan, Test, Helen, Miles Morales, Buglar Kabagi, Another Dragon, Moons AW, On You, Lend, the Vocaloid Nerd ARG, Distar, Leah, Yui Izumi, AT, Chocobo / Chris, Annie, Shin Guang, Number 1 Ash Bradley fan, Michaela Malone, Gundala, Haruka Sakurai, It's Hope, Mealy, Sin Among Klein CEO, Ori, Questionable Decisions, Endami Sochiro, Shali, Pierced Failure, Shelly, Joe, Futa Kajiyama, Nami WP, Kaku, Gukan, Mono, Cerulean, Brixie, Undying Flame, Nail, Rookie Go Boom, Pregnant Valentino, Hey, and Makoto Kayano. And now, for a very special thank you to the paid members, starting with Fresh Pirates, Yui Izumi, Shelly, Angel313, and Haruka Sakurai. And now for the crewmates, Saline, Makoto Kayano, and Shelly. If you wish to support me, you can do so by becoming a member through the links in the description down below. You are all a part of the crew. Thank you.